how to stay poor. Do what your poor friends do, and expect to get rich.
And that's why I say it's very important to be selective on where you choose to raise your children.
Okay.
We think we control stuff because we got a house, we got a car.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, what does the government control?
How can we address the historical and ongoing impact of colonization and slavery that's going on a long time ago?
It's in our life.
All right. Actually, today I'm thinking on starting with a question that is kind of complicated. Not that much complicated, but so many people don't ask that question, like how to stay poor. And I have a quiet answer about what Alex and Monzi say. Do what your poor friends do, and expect to get rich. That's how you stay poor.
Yeah.
So Taylor, what do you think about it?
I have a different take on that's a good point. I have kind of a different take in regards to staying poor. Whenever you mention stay poor, I'm thinking in my mind,
Yeah.
if you stop learning, you're definitely going to stay poor. Because
Yeah.
if your mind is not growing, you're not educating yourself with the right contents, with the right books, with the right people. You're going to stay poor.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, why I've started this is just because so many people you see out there, they start already like how to get money, how to be rich, how to be successful. But nobody asks a question like, how do you stay poor in life? That is the question or the reason why so many people are poor and are going outside, being with the same people, and aiming or hoping to get rich. Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing great. I'm so thrilled and excited to be on this episode today and having this amazing time with my brother Taylor here. We're having a special guest that we will talk about a topic that's really is fascinating. And when I'm saying fascinating, it's regarding culture. And not any culture, but I don't know if I would say that, but I want to say black culture. Because I know there is this thing they say African American, African, but I want to use the word black.
Yeah. That's right.
That's the word.
What do you think about that?
That's the perfect word to use. Because I think black culture englobes people or are not only just here in the States, also in Europe, Africa, South America, Central America, really just anywhere in the world. Not
Definitely.
only just one specific ethnic group, but it englobes a lot.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fortunate Mindset Podcast. We are so thrilled to have you here and to support us all along the way. And if you're new to this channel, please do us a favor, click subscribe. And that will help us to really get bigger. And the bigger we get, the bigger the guest. So we are with a really open-minded person that we have brought this topic together and is ready
Yeah.
to say everything. You need to be ready.
We got to unleash him. We got to unleash the beast.
So Taylor, tell
Yeah.
us, who are we having today?
Yeah, today I'm very excited to host a dear friend of mine, somebody that I grew up with, played
Yeah.
sports with, one of the funniest guys that I know. Every time I sit down with this guy,
Yeah.
I'm always laughing. I'm always in laughter.
Man, I
So,
can tell that.
I'm thrilled to introduce to everybody Ivan Godfrey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Ivan.
Yeah, it's me.
Ivan.
Thanks, Taylor. It's an honor, man. Thank y'all for having me along. So,
Yeah, man.
Definitely looking forward to the conversation, and
Sure,
feel free, feel comfortable, to unleash and just
Hey, man.
share the breadth of knowledge and experience you've had and your perspective on things.
Man, you look so fresh, man.
Thank you. Y'all look fresh too, man. Like
Oh,
I'm telling
damn.
y'all spitting with the
I'm trying to
wave
keep
and
up with
everything.
y'all.
Oh man,
Yo.
I'm like, oh no way!
Wait.
Look at me.
A compliment contest, right?
I mean, I will appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, how was your journey coming from wherever you were coming here? So, how did you feel? Did you get some traffic on the road? Did you get like some pressure?
Man, I live like 6 minutes down the road from here, so I live
yeah.
close to Taylor.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty easy drive, man. Yeah, man, safe drive. I mean, anything can happen, but glory to God that I came here safe, for
Definitely.
that 6 minutes. So
Definitely.
Ivan, I know you from Louisiana.
Yeah.
And being in DFW or just here in general,
Yeah.
what kind of food can you?
So like you talking about the food from Louisiana?
Yeah.
Man, you already know, man. You
What's your
already
intake in
know,
terms of
man.
food?
Okay, so I mean, we're gonna start off with the most popular foods. We got gumbo, we got jambalaya, shrimp etouffee, whole bunch of stuff. I'm just gonna name out the top 3 that we mainly eat because once I get down line, they're gonna be like, man, we don't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But I mean, yeah, man. Great culture, dude. I'm glad that I was able to be raised out there before I moved out here. Moving out here was a big culture shock. So I'm glad I got to see both sides of the spectrum.
Definitely.
You know?
That's so amazing. I mean, I have this thing that Taylor has mentioned. Like you grew up together, right? So how was it? let's go back to that.
Yeah, Ivan, let's go back to our football days.
Want to answer that?
I want you to answer that.
All right.
The experiences we had in football and
Yeah,
just
out of that.
growing up with our athletic career and everything else like that.
I mean, growing up here was like I said was totally different. You know what I'm saying? Where I came from wasn't as economically good as here. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, this place kind of holds. And I'm gonna say this in the best way I can. I feel like this place here is not made for black people all the way as it is for certain other people
Yeah.
to prosper and flourish.
Yeah.
And it's a reason why so many people leave the area because they feel like in order to make it in life, they have to move to Dallas or Houston. How many people have you seen that, went to high school with us, have left and moved to Houston or Dallas and started their own thing and is actually doing well in it?
Yeah.
Because, it's just different. I mean, like, going to high school, first of all, I went to a school called Foster Ridge in Cal ISD. Luckily, that one was a little bit more diverse. Coming straight out of Louisiana, I still had people coming in on my accent and things like that. But the biggest thing for me out here, even though, I feel like it's not much for black people in total out here, I still feel like it's a lot of different culture out here as well. So I'm grateful for that because where I come from, it really wasn't, no African people, no Hispanics, no anything like that. It was, you got your black Americans, you got your white people, and you got one or two Hispanic people that you go to school with.
Okay.
So, when I'm coming to school out here, I'm thinking, okay, these some brothers, man, these some homies, and they are, they black. We still friends to this day, you know what I'm saying? But then they start telling me, yeah, I'm going to their house. Okay. And then, I'm seeing their family. I'm like, man, why y'all didn't tell me y'all was African? And they was like, you didn't ask. I'm like, and that was, man, it was just, I feel like I was ignorant to the fact, moving out here, I would say the good thing about moving out here was it did open my mind to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
I remember my first year out here, it was a girl from Colombia. And I asked her, she told me, she was like, yeah, I'm from Colombia, because I was talking to her, we were talking about where we were from. And I remember I said, oh, so you from Washington, D.C., like the District of Columbia? And this was, man, I was 14, 15 years old asking her this. And she looked at me, and she was like,
who are you?
yeah, no, she looked at me like I was stupid, man. That's what she looked at me like. And then I didn't it wasn't until I really just figured out about multiple countries and things like that, because I knew about countries, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't until I really just started studying, I was like, oh, that's where she's from. Because, you know, out there, when we were out, you know, in my hometown of Shreveport, Louisiana,
Yeah.
multiple Hispanic people, we didn't call them, you know,
Yeah.
we didn't call them Hispanic, you know, and not to be kind of ignorant, but we just say, hey, they Mexican. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Sure.
and that's kind of what we said, you know.
So what do you think that stems from? You know, the lack of just being able to understand the different diversity in different cultures. What do you think that grows that starts from?
Out there, I
Just
mean,
in general, not only just here.
yeah,
just really
I mean,
everywhere.
Sure.
for me, it was basically like, it was just, how can I say it, man? It's like a small box.
Okay.
You know, it's like a box. Everybody want to do the same thing. Everybody want to be on the same stuff. And it's, you know, Shreveport is around 80% African American. So, you know, everybody just trying to be on the same stuff. We are in our own little circle. And the reason why people don't really know about the diaspora of, like, you know, black culture or,
Yeah.
you know, a whole diaspora of Hispanic culture, Latino culture,
Yes.
even I would say even white culture, you know, it's because it's an ignorance, you know, it really has to do where you're from and who you're raised by,
Right.
Oh,
you know what I mean, and what their values are. So, like I said, mainly ours was because mine was because, you know, just Shreveport, Louisiana is like a small box. It's not a town, but it's a small city. Only like 200,000, 100,000 people out there.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So, let's get to the point whereby when I just want to go back a little bit to dive into your background, as you both sharing the same like childhood. You started together. I've seen this picture that you showed me, like you in the park having this picture where Taylor thought like it was the cleanest man ever, but that was like, oh my days. I think we should
That day was
show that
interesting.
picture. So my point is, how did you feel being in university or college, and then being, or let's say, in high school, then being part of a football club, and then start? How did you get the way people was treating you in
In high school, like,
yeah,
in,
sure. Because we're talking here about black culture. So when you go to high school, when people don't really know the lifestyle as being a black person, and then maybe kind of trying to, not taking you in much value as a person.
yeah.
So how did it feel like?
So I'm gonna basically tell my experience at Central High School. Then
Yeah, for sure.
for that, for sure. First of all, the amount of black males at that school, well, in our class, you could count us basically. No, I'm probably over exaggerating, but you could count us on your hands. Basically, that's how small amount of black males
Yeah.
there were in our
Okay.
class.
Okay.
And most of them was all on the football team. So I mean, with that, first of all, a big thing with what they would do with me was they would kind of talk about my accent.
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
yeah, man. Why do you talk like that, bro? Oh man, what did you say? I can't hear you, man. What did you say? And
I feel that. I
No,
mean,
well,
I know. I know that.
So that was kind of hard. I felt like, man, something's wrong with me, because I'm like, dude, like I sound that bad, because they made me feel like that was such a bad thing to have an accent, because I wasn't from where they were from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like that's another form of ignorance.
Yeah.
When people ain't used to something, they automatically think,
Okay.
oh, something's
Something
wrong
wrong.
with you,
Okay,
and
yeah.
I'm the normal one,
Yeah,
right? Well, you can do the reverse on that. If they go to somewhere else, they could think, oh, this Texan person, they go to California,
Yeah.
something's wrong with this Texan person. That, and just a different culture, man. Like, like like I said, we're all most all the black males in our class were on the football team, so we got treated really good. But as for the black males that weren't on the football team, which was a select few of them that weren't, they really didn't get a lot of spotlight in that school.
Not at
You know
all.
what I'm saying? I probably don't even know their name. There's dudes that have seen me that only know me. They're like, man, you play football? Yeah, I know you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, what's your name? And he was like, yo, you don't know me? I'm like, nah.
They were
I'll
pretty
say
much a
nah,
background.
but I'll be like, remind me of your name. I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember you. I don't know who he was. I don't know who it was. So, I mean, I feel like at that school, it was almost like innate. It was almost like I said, got treated like a third class citizen unless you play sports. If you were a black person, innate, and it was a big light skin, dark skin debate there.
Okay.
And like I said, I love everybody. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? But you definitely could see the
difference.
the choices, you know what
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah, sure.
who all the girls flocked after, the type of dudes is mostly typically a whitewash
Okay.
person. And I feel like, at that school, if you a lot in the city of Fort Worth in general, I feel like if you're proud let me rephrase that. In order to feel like you are black, they feel like you have to be quote unquote ratchet, ghetto, right?
Oh.
Yeah,
And
I've seen
then
that
if
too.
you want to be a professional person out here, then you have to kiss up to Caucasian people, right?
okay.
And I've seen that multiple times. I'm like, okay, you were born and raised out here. Well, not born, but raised since you were 2.
Yeah.
And then claiming that you're this tough hood guy.
Okay.
Where did this come from? Because I've actually seen places in my own hometown
Yeah.
that I would, and I'm not gonna say I lived in the complete slums. Like, I mean, I lived in an okay neighborhood.
Yeah.
I went to some questionable schools, but I've seen what those people go through who actually do live in those conditions.
Yeah.
And why would you wanna like look at something like that and be like, I wanna be like this. I wanna be my best gangster.
Oh,
Why?
okay.
You're raised, your mom's a doctor, you know what I mean? Your dad's a lawyer. Why do you want to be a gangster so bad?
Oh.
And it all has to do with
The environment as well.
the environment, white
Oh
supremacy.
yeah. Oh,
Like I
yeah.
said, it's true, man. People, that's what white people look at us as. Their biggest fear is a black man or a black woman, right? Who are proud of being black
Okay.
and who are also intelligent.
Oh.
They feel like if you're intelligent, right? They feel like you need to be whitewashed because they don't fear you as much. And that's what they put on us. That's what they try to put on people out here.
Okay.
In multiple areas where, people act like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's kind of like a fear. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
a fear to them.
Okay.
So in that case, well, not to cut you off, but let's jump
go,
into
go. Yeah.
that then. So what are some of the systematic barriers that prevent black people from achieving success, and what do you think? How we can work together to be able to dismantle some of those systematic barriers that are
Definitely.
in place?
That question is really great.
Well, I mean, first of all, I know a lot of people gonna be like, "Man, come on, bro."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think the systematic barriers
Yeah.
are other black people.
No,
First of
man.
all, if I'm a person, right,
Yeah.
and I see these group of people,
Yeah.
right, and I'm like, okay, I wanna take these people down. What's the first thing you should do? Get them to divide against each other.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Then you only got to worry about one half of the group or a quarter of the group. You
Sure.
don't got to worry about the whole group.
Okay.
Right? Secondly, control the resources.
Oh.
We think we control stuff because we got a house, we got a car.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, what does the government control? Right?
yeah.
Who are the city councilmen of this city? Right? They got all the resources, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They
sure.
have the jobs, right?
Yeah. Sure.
And third, I would say the education system.
Oh.
Right, that's how they
Okay.
control
That's a
us.
barrier as well.
Okay.
Because I mean, if you look at it in the books, right, they had us thinking that Egyptians, which Egypt is in Africa,
Yeah, sure.
near the Middle East,
Yeah.
that those people were white. Hey,
No way.
yeah. So I mean, you had those books depicting white Egyptians with long hair.
Okay.
And it's okay if you know, I know they have light skinned Egyptians, but they look pure white with blue eyes. Right. And we've been taught this our whole lives. We've been taught that, and this is another controversial take, we've been taught that Thanksgiving is a great holiday. We were taught that the Pilgrims came, Native Americans, you know, they lived in peace, but you know, now everybody knows that that was a lie. So it's just like, okay, if they're telling us all these lies from us growing up from kindergarten all the way to high school, then that's going to affect our mental. And that's what they want to get. They not only want to colonize our land, but they want to colonize our mind. And that's the thing. So that's why you got a lot of, you know, you may see somebody black, but are they mentally black?
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
deep.
Because I was speaking with a buddy of mine a few days ago. We were just working out, and I asked him the question: have you ever tried jollof rice?
Yeah.
Yeah, just in general. Because
Yeah.
he was telling me that, hey, I'm Liberian. I'm coming from Africa.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
born in Africa. And I was like, nice. You guys, have you ever tried jollof rice? And he said, what is that?
No way.
And
From Africa?
yes, let me tell the story because he mentioned he was born in Liberia,
Yeah.
but he was taken from Liberia and brought here as his parents were divorced and things like that. So he came here as an
Yeah.
orphanage.
Oh,
And he
okay.
grew up in a white family,
Okay.
purely white, where he didn't have an opportunity to be able to learn his culture, where he's from, none of this. So he's only been versed in, only thing he knows is just here in the U.S. You know, the cuisine here and things like that. So anything back home that he may have left, nothing, completely gone.
Yeah.
So I mean, to put it in perspective, you're exactly right.
Well, and even with that, man, see, that's not even his choice. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I have more grace on an individual like that because it's like, okay, you know, that wasn't his choice to get adopted by white people,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you know, to not know his culture for that. But I mean, you know, him even, you know, communicating with you and wanting to learn about it. If he's wanting to learn about it, then hey, at the end of the day, man, you still black. You still got that blood in you. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
sure.
So no matter where you from, you know, if you are black, you know what I'm saying, and you get adopted, you still got that in you. You know what I'm saying? You can take the person
That's right.
out of where they from, but you can't take
can't
where
take
they're
what-
from out of them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
My issue is with the people, you know, and I'm not even just talking about black Americans when I'm saying black. I'm talking about the whole diaspora. I'm talking about
Yeah.
Congolese people. I'm talking about Nigerian people. I'm talking about Jamaicans. I'm talking about Haitians.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
Bahamians. I'm talking about everybody.
Sure.
My biggest thing is when they choose to be mentally not black.
Oh.
And
How do you choose?
How do you choose?
how do you
that?
choose?
Like,
That's their question.
Yeah, how does it happen even to just like choose to not being mentally black?
Choose to not be mentally black. So this is one. Let me take a sip of this real quick.
Yeah, for sure. That's an interesting take. You
Yeah,
don't just
sure.
So-
go to choose to not be black.
I kind of. Oh no, what you still talking? My
No,
bad.
no,
All right.
I want you to elaborate.
One, I have two different spectrums. I was talking about the spectrums, right? I have the black individuals that have grown up in the not so good neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Then I have the black individuals that have grown up in good neighborhoods, right? Both of them can choose to be not black mentally.
Oh.
Right? I know you're probably thinking like how, you know, black people who grow up in those not so good neighborhoods that the government constructed to mainly have black people, they grow up around black people. But here's the deal. Black people who grow up in these impoverished neighborhoods,
Yeah.
they grow up seeing all the worst things about black people.
Okay.
They grew up seeing black people dead on the streets. They
Gun
grew up
violence.
seeing
Okay.
ratchet stuff happening, fights,
Yeah.
everything like that. So mentally, they're thinking, okay, right? If the only way how how can I say this? The only way I'm not tied to what my environment was is if I go cross over to the other side
Okay.
and become mentally white, you know. And I'm not against interracial relationships,
Yeah, sure.
but marry a white woman, marry a white man,
Yeah.
have, you know, just do everything. Don't have black friends, anything like that, right? That's one side of it. They're escaping that, and they
Yeah.
see black people as only ghetto or only ratchet or things like that. Then you have the people in the suburbs.
Okay.
And those people chose to be mentally white because they see that the white people are the ones who run the suburbs. So they feel like in order to fit in, they
You
have
have
to
to
mold themselves in the
Yeah.
inside to be white.
Okay. So my thoughts that I want to ask is like, why first do black people choose to have that sort of mentality of, growing up in guns, I mean, all this stuff, violent thing, to the point that when you encounter or you meet any black person, people think like you are violent, or you are kind of like, just they fear you, right? They be like, they're so scared of a black person, to the point like, why that first?
Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna kind of dive into the black Americans, why they fear us. The reason why is because the media, right?
Okay.
Back in the 90s, people didn't have social media in the early 2000s, right?
Yeah, sure.
So they were going off of what they saw on TV and the movies. If
Yeah.
every movie you show, right,
Yeah.
is a black person killing somebody, or black gang movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
People in Haiti, people in Jamaica, people in the Ivory Coast, people in Liberia, they all gonna think, oh, those are some dangerous individuals.
Yeah, sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So even though we're totally different, we're not all like that. You know what I mean? But they only see it. Like I said, it's another thing that the people at the top, the Caucasian people, are controlling that narrative.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they're controlling that narrative, showing everybody this stuff.
Okay.
You know, and that's the biggest thing on why I believe that is why that is. And another reason is, if your kids grow up watching that, right? They believe that, okay, this is a part of me. And that's why I say it's very important to be selective on where you choose to raise your children.
Okay.
See, where I want to raise my children is an area that is proudly black, has black professionals, right? It could be a mixed race neighborhood. I don't got to be all black, but I want it to have a lot of black professional people, so they
Yeah.
grow up with a good image of black people, and then they're going to grow up with being proudly black. And so that's the main reason I feel like the guns thing is a thing with us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, in that case, you brought up a good point in terms of keeping your children around African or just black culture. I have a question in regards to that. So, how can we address the historical and ongoing impact of colonization and slavery that's going on a long time ago, and in the African diaspora, and what role can educating our youths, what role can that play in just addressing that issue?
First of all, we got to get over the division. First of all, we got we got to
go
get over
ahead.
the division with each other. Because like I said, we are divisive against one another. We can never stand up to somebody that's trying to take control of us.
Yeah.
When they're all together as one. You know what I'm saying? Secondly, we are some of the nicest people in the world. The whole black diaspora, they are some of the nicest people, because we're the only ones that let people come into our house
Okay.
saying that they want to be nice. Well, oh yeah, we'll let you learn our culture. And then they take over.
Oh yeah.
And we're the only ones that do that. You don't see Asian people allowing people into their culture. You don't see a lot of white people allowing people into their culture.
Yeah,
you don't
sure.
see they're gatekeepers of their culture. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest problem with black people worldwide.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They allow people into their culture so easily. Why is it that black people buy more stuff from Asian people than their own black people? Why is it that black people buy more stuff from white people than their own black people?
Oh yeah.
Right? And then a second thing is
Yeah.
self-defense. I think that since guns with black people have got, like I said, it's your choice if you want to have a gun or not, right? You know, I can see why it could protect somebody, but I feel like they did that on purpose to make us fear guns, because you don't see white people fearing guns. When people see a white person with a gun, they don't feel scared.
Yeah.
And even with black people, we feel like, oh, he cool. He got a gun. He cool. But when you see a black person with a gun, it could be the nicest looking black person ever.
Yeah,
But they be like, oh man, we all be thinking, man, what if he pop off in this mud, man? He better not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
sure.
that's a whole thing that they got on us mentally.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I was talking to one of my friends, and she was talking about how she want to work with some people to buy some certain stuff.
Yeah.
And she always say, "Oh, please, I don't want to get this person, this African person." I'm like, why? You know, you're African. They be like, but African people don't work well with each other. Why is it that we don't work well with one another, and we don't keep the money in our communities?
Sure.
But you got these Asians and these white people recycling money in their own communities. So that's one of the things.
Just makes me think that you see so many Asians, even Latinos or Hispanic people, when they come to work together. Let's say people from India, for instance. If you see they are really getting a lot of business, especially in Africa, but you see like it's just a person that come first, started a business, but starts calling other friends, and those friends sometimes they come with no capital, but the one that started first, they give them the money, like this is the money, start, they create, and they start growing, they become bigger and bigger. But that is different with the black community. Like, why we don't support each other? Why does that we don't even want to start business together? And when it starts, it doesn't take that much, like that's longer to just blow everything apart. So why that culture? Because you're talking about the mindset culture, like why?
Okay. Well, first of all, as for black Americans, it started off with slavery. So slavery, like I said, that divisive gene, it made them want to turn against each other. They started off with the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negroes were usually light skinned. Field Negroes were usually more dark skinned, right? So with that, it created a divisive thing, and it made unloyalty to one another. And that's one reason. Then colonization between all of those African countries, you know, other than Ethiopia and Liberia.
Ethiopia was the only one.
Yeah, Ethiopia
that
is
colonized.
basically the only one. Liberians try to say they weren't, but it's a whole deal with that. We can talk about that later. But you know, same reason why you got Nigerians bleaching their skin, right? Same reason you got all that stuff going on. So, I mean, with that, it's because like the colonization, man. We feel like we trying to climb up and take each other down to get closer to being, how can I say this, on not white but on par with white people. But we feel like we got to do it ourselves so we could be the token person. And this always has happened, even since like hundreds of years ago. You know, even earlier than that. You know, so colonization and slavery have dealt a big part on why we do that, and no other country has really had the colonization and slavery that we have had. I mean, dude, slavery itself changed the whole face of the world. If you really think about it, that whole Western slave trade, that's the reason why you have Haitians in Haiti, black Dominicans in Dominican Republic, or you have black Brazilians, right? They actually have a whole Nigerian setup in Brazil. That's why you have the black Colombians. That's why you have all these black people everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we don't.
So from what I've heard, it's because Nigeria was the place that they were bringing almost all this the slave to bring them to Europe and get to United States. Is that
Gambia,
true? It wasn't.
there's a lot of
it
places.
wasn't just Nigeria. It was all of West Africa. It was Congo too, Cameroon.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You
Angola.
Yeah,
Okay.
Angola, it was everywhere. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
okay.
That whole western
Yeah.
part of Africa, that's
Yeah.
where they had that whole slave trade. But yeah, that's why we don't really do they made it a part of us to
Okay.
be divisive.
So, f- right now, you've heard the conversation, and I just want to take this little moment to thank you for reaching at this moment and really say that we will appreciate your support. And we here talking about challenges, problems that really about in among youth. And it don't matter really if you not youth and you're listening to this. So we want to create or have a generation that's comes that people that think, that people that want to work together, people that have different mindset. That is why we actually ask you to support us by following us on different platforms on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, Amazon, Google Podcast, and even on YouTube right now. Subscribe so people can hear, can listen, and we want more youth to listen to this so that we can create and have a better generation. So thank you, and let's go back to the show. So as you've been saying, I would appreciate all this kind of stuff. However, I have a question that comes in my mind to ask, like, yes, we have all these things, and I know Taylor is burning with so many questions right now. So,
There's a lot of them.
it,
Good
like,
answer.
it's burning with a
Yeah.
lot of questions. But I'm so sorry, Taylor. I need
Right.
to ask this. Do you think like it's a problem with blaming white people that we have to be just saying white people, white people, white people? So yes, that happened.
Yeah.
We went through slavery, all this stuff, but that happened hundreds of years ago. So what are we doing now? Keep complaining and blaming white people. What's the matter?
Well, I would say this. Let's say, somebody came and shot you in a leg or something, right? Didn't kill you, right? Would you want to forget about that next time you saw them again in the future? No. And the thing is, it's not even that. I feel like that's an important thing to know. The past is the key to knowing the future.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not about, and like I said, it's not about all just what white people have done to us. Yes, it's a key. They have done a lot to why we are the way we are now and why the world the way it is now, right? The main thing I try to do is to try to bring all black people as one. And that's what I blame is our divisiveness, our division. We divide. We're like so divided. You know what I mean? And so it's the whole world, man, that come against black people. I don't want necessarily say it's just white people. White people started it, and white people are the ones who control the world,
Sure.
right? Which they, influence people in South Korea, people in North Korea. They influence people in basically all of East Asia and some of the other countries, man. All the other countries. You got people in South Korea, man. They have a thing where if the darker you are, the worse you're looked at in their country in South Korea.
Really?
Yeah. So white people influence the whole world. So I mean, technically, everybody could say that white people has had some part in causing them. The main thing I have is, and I always say this, my problem isn't the white people, right? They're white. They're going to do what they do. They're going to make sure that they ahead, that they on top. They're going to do what they do, right? Like I said, my problem is the brothers and sisters that have the mentality of a white person, because I feel like they are the most, they are the best weapon to use against us. They are the biggest weapon because they look like us, but they're not mentally us. Wow. So it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Wow.
Oh.
You got a sheep coming in your flock,
Oh no.
and he start eating everybody.
Wow.
And that's part, and like, so when black people feel like, oh, We need to fight for our stuff. Imagine if y'all could control y'all's resources, every resource. And I was telling Taylor this.
Yeah.
If Congo had control of all their resources, they would be the richest country in the world, bro.
Oh, no
I'm
way.
telling you, yes.
No
Yes,
way.
y'all would be the richest country in the world. Saudi Arabia, they control all the oil.
Yeah.
Right? Trillionaires.
Yeah.
They got a lot of money.
Sure.
Right?
They got a lot
But
of
you
money.
telling me that somehow, some way, these people from England and France and stuff went over to the Congo and like they got people digging up. Man, come on, bro. And it has to be a reason why that this is getting allowed, because of the black people with white mindsets. Oh, don't fight them. Hey, guys, if we fight them, it's only going to go worse. We need to get along with them. Just work with them. How long do we need to keep on working with people? Man, if I got a gold pot in my house that's giving unlimited gold, and somebody try to come in and make me dig the gold up for them, how, man? This is my house. You better get out my house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the problem I have. I don't blame it all on white people. My biggest threat is
It's the
black
mentality.
people with.
Yeah, let me share an experience as well. It's an interesting take that you just shared with us, and I'm sure this experience has. I'm not alone in this experience. There's been a lot of Africans that also share this experience as well that I know of. When I first came here in the U.S., I was completely different. I was completely different than the average Black American.
Yeah.
The way I looked, in terms of what I dressed,
Yeah.
the way I dressed.
Yeah,
'Cause
sure.
Back in Africa,
Yeah.
we're used to. I was in a private school where I was used to wearing a tie,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
tucking in my stuff. When I came here, already language barrier was completely
Yeah,
different.
different.
My black counterparts can tell that I'm different,
Yeah.
and they could tell that because of this diversity, this difference, they weren't used to it.
Yeah.
Because of this, I was called names, African booty scratcher,
Oh no.
this and that, all sorts of different stuff that was, cast upon me.
Yeah. Sure.
I was chased in the gym I was bullied, you could say,
Yeah.
from my Black American counterparts.
Oh.
Now that all changed later on when I started playing sports and stuff, and then the dynamics changed around. Whenever
Yeah,
I started building muscle and stuff. But the point is,
Yeah.
and I want you to elaborate more on this subject. Why there's that based off that division and the hatred towards our own people.
Definitely.
Why is that? And how can we be able to change that dynamic so that we can be able to benefit from relationships that we can be able to build from
Sure.
our counterparts, our black
Definitely.
counterparts?
Yeah. Sure.
So with that, man, it's just ignorance, dude. I mean, I feel like as the black community, man, they see somebody who's not all the way like them, they automatically think, like I said, they like what they did with me. Something's wrong with him because he don't act like us or he don't dress like us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a one-minded mentality, right? Which a lot of black people have.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So in their eyes, if you ain't acting like, a thug, or it just depends on what area you in. But most time, if you ain't acting like a thug, or if you ain't acting professional, quote unquote, whitewashed, then you different, bro. And that was the thing, man. I had, the same troubles. That's why I felt like I got along with all sorts of black people and cultures. Because with me, I felt like I didn't really just fit in with the, the just black African Americans in general, because like I wasn't hood. Yeah. I'm not a ratchet tough, guy, but I'm also not whitewashed either. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I feel like that happened. You know what I mean? It's something that they don't know, and they automatically feel like, oh, what is this? It's kind of like you see an animal from another tribe, and they try to go to another tribe, and then
tribe
attacks them.
being Like the
and
alpha.
That same thing happens
Yeah, sure.
within lions.
Yeah.
You can have a male alpha lion that goes into another pride,
Yeah.
and they'll try to kill him
Oh,
because he's an intruder.
Yeah,
even though
sure.
he's a lion.
yeah.
You know, but he's an intruder in that
Sure.
pride.
Oh, okay.
But here's my thing is, you don't see Chinese people chasing Korean people in our schools. You don't see Korean people chasing Polynesian people in our schools.
That's true,
You don't
man.
see Russian people chasing German people.
Yeah.
Or you don't see German people chasing white Americans or white Americans chasing German people. So
Definitely.
why is it only like that in our culture?
Yeah, that's man, that's a question. I mean, why?
And I've been saying it this whole time. The division.
The division.
They want us to all feel like we're different from one another when we're all the same.
Right. Oh,
Y'all
okay.
eat gumbo. Y'all have y'all own form of okra soup,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
I had okra soup for the first time. I felt like I was at home.
Oh.
Eating gumbo at my home. I was talking to this one Congolese girl. She said, y'all actually eat boudin. I was like, what?
Boudin.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Y'all
Beignet.
Beignet. This dude, it's the same food, different names.
Yeah, sure.
Or even same names in some
Yes,
cultures.
yeah, sure.
You know, so but yet we not the same.
Okay.
We all the food that I'm gonna say this right now, all the food that the whole black diaspora eats,
Yeah.
it all comes from Africa.
Collard
Sure.
greens.
Yeah.
Everything,
Cornbread.
all that, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even if not cornbread, it's still cornbread is like fufu is like our cornbread. Well, y'all's cornbread. You know what I'm saying? We eat cornbread with everything. You know, and then I see fufu. Fufu is like the same thing. It's kind of like a binder. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. It's the
I
same
remember the
stuff.
first time you tried fufu. How was that experience for you?
It was good, man. It was good, man. I ain't go back.
You made him eat fufu?
He would ask him. He was like, "Hey man, you got some restaurants I can go to? Or can I come over and eat?" You know, at that time my mom wasn't available to cook, so I was like,
Yeah.
"Let's go to this African restaurant. I got you."
Okay.
Yeah, how was that experience for you, man?
Man, it was life changing. Yeah, man. I want to try East African food now, man. I've tried some Congolese food. I've tried Nigerian, of course, food from the Ivory Coast so far. I think it's called a tatake. I forgot.
From
Ivory Coast,
they
yeah.
eat a chicken.
Check it.
Yeah, that's
check
what
it.
it's called, man. It's kind of like that stuff. I don't know what it is really, but it was good. I ate with some fish.
You're right.
Yeah,
It is
man. So yeah, man. I just want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the thing we've been talking about African American and trying to see how we treat each other, right? Because I say we because all of us are black.
Yeah.
And the way we treat each other and all the stuff. But let's talk about really African that live in Africa, different country, but all of us, all of them, African, but still conflict, still war, still hatred, like everything.
Yeah.
But all of us still in the same continent. Yes, we have light skin. We have people that really look a bit different from us. We have mixed. All of the people, but all of us, black. Because people that live in Europe won't call you living in Africa as a white person. They won't call you white.
Yeah.
They call you African because they don't want to call you black. They know you're not white. But why? People like country, I don't want to say some countries, but people like in, let's say, Tunisia, for instance, they don't call themselves black.
That's true. Yeah, Mohawk, c'est pareil. It's the
Yeah,
same.
they call themselves just Algerians or Africans. Yeah, we know you are light skin stuff, kind of Middle East, all the stuff. But why do we have those kind of conflict between black or African living in Africa?
So I'll answer that with two answers, right? First, I feel like a lot of people, and it's crazy, it's 2024, man, but I feel like a lot of people don't know the difference between race, nationality, and ethnicity, right?
yeah.
So race, is black.
Yeah.
You got, white, Asian, and black. You know what I'm saying? I know people like, man, what about Latino, Hispanic? Latino and Hispanic is not a race.
Okay.
It's an ethnic group.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, I mean, that's why you have black Latinos and white Latinos.
Yeah.
Black Hispanics, white Hispanics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Another thing is, I feel like with Africa, yes, it's political based feuds, right? But I feel like the biggest thing, the difference between us and the Caucasian people and the other people,
Yeah.
theirs isn't solely just based on, oh, you from this country, I'm from this country. It's political things.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't just for the political things, they would be cool with each other. Because you see, they cool with each other over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If Russia wouldn't be beefing with Americans if it wasn't because they was communists and American is a democratic country. I mean,
Yeah.
so they saw each other, they'll be cool. Here, you still see like certain groups of African, he East African or this East African ain't messing with this Central African.
Yeah.
And it's solely to do, yes, it is some political, don't get me wrong, but it's just land barriers. And I've always figured, why is that? I question it too. Why, if it's nothing really politically deep,
Yeah.
why are y'all beefing with each other so hard? Why are we all beefing with each other?
Sure.
And it's I feel like it's just something that we all got to work on because
So,
yeah.
to that point, then, what step can the black community take to reverse the negative things associated with them?
Doing what we doing right now, talking about it.
Yeah.
See what we doing now?
Shedding light on it.
We got
Yeah.
two Congolese brothers,
Yeah.
African American brother, Black American brother,
Yeah.
all sitting at a table talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So what that's going to want to do is going to make other black people see this and be like, man, we should all sit down and talk about it too.
Yeah.
And not only that, but social media. Social media, I feel like, and this is what I'm gonna say, I think social media is the biggest curse
Yeah.
to black people, but it's the biggest blessing to black people
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
Because not only, we seeing that, man, we ain't all that different at all. And people in other black countries are seeing that, oh, man, black Americans ain't that bad, or all, Jamaicans, oh, they actually, we all cool, man. We all the same people, right? So I'm I feel like that's another thing that can help change is social media and like people just sitting down talking about it. It's already happening now.
Yeah.
It's happening as we speak. So,
yeah, sure. That's really great. That's really great.
Yeah, let's talk about the black incarceration rates.
Yeah.
in America in general.
Yeah, sure.
How can I was reading a statistic, I believe it was about 60% of blacks in America or something of the sorts are incarcerated due to some reason, drugs, violence, killings, whatever it is.
Yeah, sure.
What do you think our community can do to lower that rate, or just be able to make changes to the black, incarceration rates?
The black incarceration rates. So you mean in America, correct? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure.
Primarily in America.
Primarily in America.
Yeah, sure.
So with that, man, in order to help the black incarceration rates, first we have to fix the household of the family. We need to fix the economic system in those neighborhoods. I mean, and man, it's not even in those neighborhoods that they're only doing it at, man. You got people, like I said, out here. I heard a story about two males who live in Keller, Texas, who got shot and killed in Oak Cliff.
Wow.
Oh.
For trying to be on some gang stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
So I feel like it has to do with the household as well. And I'm not going to say all black parents. Some of them, they just, their parents probably was well off.
Yeah.
They probably tried to teach them and, they just got, some people could just get, influenced badly. But I feel like another thing is we have the highest rate of women who don't get married.
Oh.
Black women are 70%. 70% of black women do not get married.
No way.
And are single mothers.
Oh.
Right?
Wow.
So when you have a household where a woman is basically trying to be the male and the female of the household. She
Yeah.
can't do both, man. A woman is made to be emotionally there
Okay.
Yeah.
for her child. She can't teach the logical things that us men can teach their
Right,
kids.
okay.
We're the we're the person that gives discipline. We're
Yeah.
the logical ones.
Yeah,
The
sure.
women are the comforters
Yeah.
and the emotional ones.
yeah,
So that's how
sure.
you bring a great balance.
Yeah.
Right. So when you have these broken children
Yeah.
in the community, the only way they feel like they could get their anger out is by resorting to that, or they
Yeah.
just weren't raised right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they weren't raised right because, oh, their mom was all acting. You know, that may be the case, but it's not like that. I'm saying they weren't raised right by they were in a single family household,
Okay.
and
Okay. Okay.
and it's crazy because that single family household didn't happen until the
Yeah.
1980s.
Right.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crack epidemic,
epidemic.
the AIDS. How was AIDS only affecting Black Americans?
Oh.
How was crack just getting into our communities? Great, good looking communities, great Black communities,
Okay.
going to slums because somehow crack.
Okay.
You know, CIA putting it in the communities. But hey, we can
Hey,
get on that
hey,
later. But
hey,
hey,
hey, hey.
you know.
Yeah.
Once that had happened, you had mothers becoming crackheads against single family household. Dads having to take care of their daughters. Dads don't really know, how to
Yeah.
take full care, right? And then after that, you had gangster rap in the
Okay.
90s.
Yeah,
And I would say
sure.
gangster rap was the worst thing. Gangster rap and gangster movies was the worst thing that could have happened to our community.
You think so?
Okay.
Yes, because you got people calling, we call ourselves the N word, and you got them calling our women the B word.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, and they've even made it to where it's become cool to call each
Yeah,
other that.
yeah.
That's true.
You hear multiple,
Sure, sure.
multiple Black girls of all diaspora, not even just Black American women, but all women,
Like
saying
the B word.
saying,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
In a
that's
positive
my
sense.
B."
Yeah, in a
That's-
positive sense, like yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
For them, I mean.
And it's crazy because I was even I call my homeboy, hey, what's up? But
That stems from rap. The rap.
yeah,
culture.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's crazy because mainly all the managers of these groups.
White. Okay. Anyway, so I get it.
Hey man, I told y'all I'm gonna bring it, man.
I mean, this is going really deep because this brings me to ask, where is it the reason why so many Black curse, even it's just a normal conversation, we just the MF word, the F word, the B word, the N word, all the stuff, and it's okay, it's normal now, like everybody does it. So do you think that the roots come from the gangster rap, or it's just something that has just gotten there and everybody start cursing at any time?
Black people was already cussing like that before gangster rap. Actually, gangster rap came from that in a sense. I mean, they got
Okay.
funded by certain people so people could put that into our community. But the biggest thing was we have some of the lowest testing scores in our schools.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you're in a Black neighborhood, in the hood, your school
Yeah.
don't have the funds to give you the education like schools in the suburbs do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you have that, lack of diction and stuff like that, then that's kind of like a filler word for them,
Oh, okay.
just to cuss,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. D, man, that's
Yeah,
crazy as
yeah.
H, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's like a filler word. If the diction was better, they wouldn't need to use curse words so much.
Yeah.
And then another thing, yes, it is influenced by rap because you have other kids of other culture,
Yeah.
racial groups that cuss because they hear the
Cuss,
rap music.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
sure.
And they feel like they live in a life
Yeah.
of a person in that neighborhood through that rap
Through that
song.
music.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
sure,
saying?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. So that's why.
I mean, I heard something you talk about more about like education, the household, the environment, and how somebody is growing, people you grow up with. this just makes me search for a little bit for a quote that talk about people to cut off in your life. All right. It says, people to cut off in your life, ones who create more problems than they solve, complain more than they are grateful, talk about what they deserve for more than what they have earned. So, what do you think? Like, it is really okay to cut off those kind of people in our lives, or we need to keep some of those people that create problems, that complain, and that they are not grateful, and they talk more about what they deserve than what they've earned in their
Yeah.
lives.
I mean, with that, I ain't gonna keep no broken car. I'm gonna trade that car in. I ain't gonna keep no broken
That's
car.
an answer. I'm not keeping any broken
Yeah,
car.
I mean, hey, I'm straight up, and it's not, when you cut a friend off, it's no hard feelings.
Okay.
But it's just like I've outgrown, and I know that sounds harsh, but mentally I've outgrown you because I don't want those problems in my life, or I feel like we ain't on the same, level. And like I said, that might sound narcissistic, but that's it's true.
Okay.
If you keep around broken things in your life, then what is that gonna make you? You gonna have more problems, and that's
Yeah.
going to making you broken.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you still gotta love them and be there for them, but you cannot have communion with them. See them here and there. Hey, how you doing, man? I'm glad you're doing good. Cool. Give them some life advice. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what a lot of people.
So let's come back a little bit that you've been talking about. If Congo had all the resources in their hands, they could be the richest country in the world. So what about the time whereby like a lot of Congolese rulers, right, that have really died when trying to free their people? So do you think that other people or other country had an impact on their lives, like passing away, or it's just that they don't want Congo to go forward?
So you mean did other countries have like an impact
Impact
on Congo
on-
not
yeah.
reaching that?
Yeah.
I feel
How
like
those rulers to die,
let
trying
them
to-
die.
to,
Yeah.
to freeing the country.
This is the biggest thing I have, and I've even done this before in the
Okay.
past. But you see somebody, and black people do this a lot. You see somebody, like, let's say you see a black man beating his wife.
Okay.
Instead of stepping in and being like, hey, man, you need to quit that.
Okay.
They be like, nah, man, that ain't our business. Leave that alone. That's them.
Okay.
He beating the crap out of that woman. She bleeding. And you telling me, you know what I'm saying, I can't go and help? Nah, man, that ain't. He probably got a gun. He gonna kill you if you go. Don't mess with it.
Yeah.
I feel like it was fear that stopped them from helping.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it's fear. It's fear based. People don't want to. They feel like, man, you see them countries, dude. They coming in crazy, taking over the whole country. We don't want to get killed like they got killed. We don't want to get. And this happens with a lot of black communities, man. So it's just fear based, and that's why they were able to take control of that. And they coming in with full force because they see the potential that Congo has. Wakanda is actually based off of Congo.
Okay.
Stan Lee actually based Wakanda off of Congo. Coltan, cobalt, vibranium.
Yeah. Man, no way.
powerful.
Don't talk about that.
Come on.
I mean,
So-
let's go deeper. Like, how do you come with that? Thinking like it's Congo and vibranium, other stuff.
I
like
mean,
Wakanda.
they've said it.
Okay.
They've said it. Yes,
Okay.
multiple people have came to notice that and have said it.
Okay.
And it's not like, come on, man, it's there right in front of our eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, even the location of Wakanda.
Okay.
Is in Central Africa. So who else are they talking about? One in West African country, one in East African country. We all know what vibranium is.
Yeah.
Without Congo, dude, we wouldn't have the phones we have. We wouldn't have none of this stuff or
That's
anything.
right. A lot
like
of people
that.
don't know
Yeah,
that.
sure.
So-
sure.
Come on, yeah.
I mean, that's true. Yes, Taylor, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I want to speak about celebrating black experiences. So,
Oh yeah,
black
sure,
voices, black businesses,
sure.
black opportunities in general. How do you think we can, better celebrate those, black experiences, black cultures, black
Yeah.
foods, culture really in general?
Well, first of all, I don't think we should forget certain things. We should always remember, but we shouldn't highlight this particular thing. I feel like with Black History Month, it's a history month where we should only be happy about the stuff that we have going on now. And which they do highlight that, but most of the times they show, the freedom fighters walking, or people, walking with their fist up, reminding
Pink
us,
Panthers.
racism and slavery. Oh,
Black Panthers, sorry.
yeah, the Black Panthers, and they talk about the Underground Railroad and stuff like that. We have the whole rest of the year to know that and remember that.
Yeah.
Why are we highlighting that on Black History Month and showing like, how they overcame racism? We should like I'm saying, we should definitely remember that as Black Americans. But I feel like we should be congratulating, like, dude, man, look at this new business that this person started, or whoa, man, like, look how far we came. You know what I'm saying? Look what we doing, man. That's crazy.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's definitely what I feel like we should do for Black History Month.
Oh, okay. So what about when it's about businesses or stuff? Like, it was during this week, I think 2 days ago, I saw one of our producer posting something like, you are in a stadium. When you start something, you have little support. But when you make it, you have a lot of congrats. Like, oh man, you've made it. Oh man. So tell me, like, why do black people don't support each other when somebody has started something? They prefer supporting somebody else that they've never seen, they've never met, they don't even know. They're ready to do that, like it's free. But somebody that they know, being in the neighborhood, dude, if I support him or her, she's gonna be great, she's gonna be, and then she'll be thinking, or he will be thinking that they are best than us. So why do you think that we have that in our culture? Like, why do we have that kind of mindset or thoughts?
Well, first of all, that's a part of wanting to look cool, be a part of the cult group. If they see that you already made it, they see this big, huge building that started off as a small building, and they see it, they automatically get gravitated to it because they see everybody else going to it.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. And
Yeah.
another thing is, and this is with, I feel like with every race, I mean more so with black folk, the black diaspora, when we see somebody that's on the same level as us, we want them to stay on the same level as us.
Oh yeah.
Because we all on a race to get to the top before somebody else.
Somebody else. Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So if you do see somebody that's already popping, then you feel like, oh, I'm going to just join this cult group because everybody else is hyping it up.
Yeah.
It's uniform. It's a whole. It's one mind, bro. They don't want to. Everybody wants to be the same. You know what I'm saying? You got people who ain't even talented. You know, getting this whole following. You got businesses that are okay, but yet everybody want it.
Yeah. I want to talk about something in particular, the black health. Black Americans in general are amongst the most obese in the U.S. This is what the statistics show.
Oh yeah.
So, in regards to our health and various different things we have to be with food and things like that, how do you think we can our black culture can what can we do to be able to help ourselves in regards to health?
I feel like you talk about just the black diaspora in general, like the whole diaspora. Or?
Yeah, the entire
Yeah.
diaspora.
So I mean, with that, I mean just education about food. You know, let them know what's calorically, more dense. Something that's gonna get you full but doesn't have a lot of calories in it. With black food in general, man, we eat a lot of high starch foods that have a lot of calories.
Okay.
And we have the highest cholesterol out of every race.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Heart attacks, diabetes, all that.
Yeah.
We rice with everything, dude. I mean, Louisiana itself has the highest obesity rating in all of America.
Oh.
All of our food, we have some of the best food. A lot of our food is mainly of African trace. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We eat a lot of high starch food. I ate some food when I ate some fufu, man. Dude, I felt like it was good, but I ate the whole thing. And they told me, they was like, man, what you ate the whole thing of fufu for, bro? It's gonna mess your stomach. Man, I couldn't move for at least the whole to the next day.
That's the thing that fufu does to you.
I remember.
Man. And so if we eat that type of food all the time, then that's what's gonna happen. You know? Yeah. So as in I'm finna be done with this in a minute, but like as in the black community out here, I feel like in the bad neighborhoods they don't give great food selection.
Yeah.
The nearest thing to them is a fried chicken spot, fried catfish spot. They don't really have healthy options, you know. So at least I feel like in other countries they have more natural food.
Oh yeah.
That they can choose from.
Yeah.
At least in that regards. But all of it is still definitely high in starch and things like that. So.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I mean, from now, it's really been a really great conversation. Like, so great. I'm learning too much, especially about our culture, right? As black and knowing the African American living in the United States, because being in Africa, you think that Black American are the most violent people. I mean, I know people in the country where I'm coming from, in Kigali, in Rwanda. My friend, my good people, they be like, I cannot go to United States. I mean, people will be saying, oh, we don't want you to come in United States too, right? But the only reason why they don't want to come to United States is because they say, like, people are killing each other every time. And that killing is just among black community.
Yeah.
So that killing, that hates, that fear that we create among us. So how can we make our best to start changing that? I know a few people cannot be able to change everybody, right? We cannot be able to change everybody, but what can be the advice or the idea that we can talk about here that somebody can be listening or watching to, like, wherever they are, to just put in our black mindset that this how we can try at least our best to overcome all this other stuff, so that we don't put in people's mind that we are the most aggressive people, we are the most people killing each other, because that thing you won't find it in other races. People killing each other every time. No, you won't find that there is. And actually, the thing that you talk about Hispanic people, all of us, we know, like, Hispanic people are Mexican. Like, especially myself.
Yeah.
I thought they are Mexican, but I've learned that they're people from
Multiple
different
countries, yeah.
So, because I'm meeting some people and I'm, oh, really? I didn't know that before, but why is that different among us black people? We know, like, this black people is because I'm light and he's dark, so I'm more than him. And I cannot even give a, when you say, like, hi or hey, how you doing? They like,
yeah.
And then they pass. They don't even say a word. Like, why that?
Because it's a protective mindset. I feel like most black people feel like they have to be on edge all the time. You know what I'm saying? So when they do
Oh.
see somebody saying hey to them,
Yeah.
they looking like, why you speaking to me?
Yeah.
What's your motive?
I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your motive? They feel like it's a protective mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why they mostly don't speak to one another unless they
one
know
another.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and what was the other question you had? Sorry about that. You were talking about like why. I'm trying to remember what you said. Could you repeat that again, man? It was
That's fine. Let's jump into it.
yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
man.
sure.
I want to ask a very specific question. Do you think the criminal justice system in the U.S. has failed the black culture?
Yeah.
The reason why I ask that is
Yeah.
because in regards to when I have conversations with just people that are outside of the U.S. and their view into the U.S. and the black experience is that police officer encounters with police agencies, a lot of African Americans or just blacks are dying.
Yeah.
So do you think, in regards to that, the criminal justice system has failed the black community?
It wasn't made for us. So how can it fail us? It wasn't made for us, man. The police force was slave patrol.
Oh.
The initial one, yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay,
that was
that's how
slave
it started.
patrol. They were going to get the slaves,
Boundary hunting.
bounty hunting.
Bounty hunting.
And guess who mainly was the bounty hunters? They paid black brothers to go find the other black runaway slaves.
Sure.
Runaway slaves.
Yeah,
Sure.
so slave patrol was
That's how it
was
started.
how it started. So yeah, I mean this system wasn't created for us at all. You know, neither were the amendments.
Okay.
When they talk about all the amendments that we have,
Yeah.
that wasn't made for us. So I take that with a grain of salt.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? The country of the free, was not made for us. America was built on slavery, and the so that the white people can reign supreme here.
Okay.
So when they first came here and started the colonies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They came here acting like they was peaceful with
Yeah.
the Native Americans.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, first.
Sure.
Right. Then they came and basically wreaked havoc, spread plagues that the Native Americans weren't used to, wreaked havoc. Then they said, okay, we're not strong enough to build up this country.
Yeah.
So guess what they did?
Let's
Let's go
go.
buy some of the strongest gene people.
Yeah.
And bring them over here. Because their genes are
Yeah.
great.
Sure.
They can survive in the heat.
Yeah.
The melanin gives us power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
From the sun. So they made us build everything. And that's the White House was built by slaves.
Oh.
Yeah. So the more you know, man. The
I'm having
monuments-
chills right
Yeah.
now.
That's insane.
I'm now I need to learn history, man. I really
That's
need
pretty interesting
to.
whenever you dive into the history of just
Yeah.
black
I
culture.
mean,
Black
dude,
Just in
culture.
general,
Black
not
culture,
only that, but
yeah.
just
A
lot of-
in
a lot of
general,
stuff that
just
we've
America's
created.
history.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that we created.
Yeah.
We've created a lot of this stuff that people use today.
Okay.
The iron, peanut butter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
man, everything, dude.
Oh,
Black
yeah.
people are some of the smartest people in the world, man. With
Yeah.
the stuff that we've created, the light bulb. Come on, man. We were some of the best architectures.
Man, no, I'm not gonna let this pass. You tell light bulb, but we know it's not black people. So how you saying
Everybody
like
says it's Thomas Edison.
Man,
Yeah.
no, bro.
Yeah.
No, bro.
he
No,
tried
man.
Everybody says
what?
it's Thomas Edison.
Everybody
1,000
says it
times,
is.
Yeah.
and they failed.
And then you feel that's what they
That's
say.
why they
so-
say it, right?
Okay, when they mention the richest people in the world in history, who do they always mention? A white king or queen, right?
Yeah.
The richest person in the world was Mansa Musa in history, and he
Oh.
led control of the Moors of modern day. I believe it was. I know it was West Africa for sure. I believe it was Ghana.
Okay. Ghana or Namibia, something like that?
Benin or something. I believe it was Benin.
Okay.
But Mansa Musa was the richest king that has ever existed.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Trillions upon trillions of dollars.
Okay.
So,
Like he had gold stuff.
man, he had everything, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you wasn't messing with him, bro.
Okay.
So the thing is, you know, when like I said, they change history.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So
Who changed history?
you already know what I'm finna say, man. You
Oh.
know, the same people who made Jesus Christ look white.
Okay.
When
Oh no.
That's a topic for another day.
That is topic for another day.
So when they say
Okay.
when they
Okay.
say you know, KFC, man, that's a prime topic. KFC, a person, they got the white man who's on KFC chicken, but he actually beat a black slave till she gave him the recipe
No way.
for KFC.
No man.
So I mean, and like I said, they ain't gonna give us the real history behind it, but a lot of those are stolen inventions.
No man. KFC
I mean,
beating
yeah.
a black woman.
Yeah, like a lot of that stuff, man. Yeah,
Oh.
and I'm just only using KFC to show
To
y'all
show-
like
yeah, sure.
it can happen anywhere.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Okay. That's true. I mean, so I don't know. For now, I'm like, this is just over my head because I didn't know all of these things.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know. So I would appreciate this episode, and it's really exceptional because we're talking about our culture, we're talking about our roots, like where we're coming from, and I really love that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know you think like it was going and going and going, but we're gonna stop now, man. We gotta stop now. But tell me though, what is this thing that you've seen like a lot of people value a lot? Either it's black, white, red, yellow, whatever. Like everybody valued a lot, but to you, you don't value that much. What is that thing?
I really choose not to value anything. Really, I value my family. I value my future family. I think as a whole, we should all value the sense of togetherness.
Okay.
You know, because in a lot of cultures, and I would say even in African culture, you know, that they value the sense of pride, togetherness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A family, and it wasn't, like I said, out here is more individualistic pride. It's
okay.
egos.
Okay.
And I feel like once you value other things like money or materialistic things, that's when you sold your soul.
Oh yeah.
Because when you die, you ain't taking none of that with you.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, but family, you're gonna see in the past.
Yeah.
You know, in the spiritual realm.
Definitely. So I've got like the last two questions for you. What is the best advice that you've ever heard, received, or given? That you can
Best
share with
advice
us.
I've ever heard,
Received or given.
or given. I would say, always be proud of who you are. And I know people have heard that a lot, but I'm truly meaning that for black people, because it can definitely be hard of all different ethnic groups of black people, because they've built it to where we feel like we're inferior.
Yeah.
You know, the way
Yeah.
we are, our hair texture, people permanent hair, you know, just everything, you know.
Okay.
Be proud of who you are, because the melanin that we have, it makes us great. That's why we strong. That's why we very intelligent. That's why we could taste stuff. You know, we could taste a whole variety of different seasonings.
Okay.
You know, we got the best seasoned food for a reason, because of that melanin in us.
Okay.
We actually have more of a spectrum of taste than most other races do.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you probably didn't know that.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know
So it's been scientifically
I can't
proven.
taste for other races. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's scientifically proven though. They
Yeah.
say that black people can taste. I don't know the exact percentage, but they said they've done a study, and that's why you would think that other races' food tastes more bland. And they'll be like, "Oh, ours tastes too seasoned. We only put garlic and salt." I'm not eating nothing with garlic and salt on some boiled chicken. Oh, I'm gonna eat that for So yeah, always be true to always be proud of who you are and true to yourself. Proud of who you are because
So the last one, what is the worst
the worst
advice you've ever heard, received, or given?
The worst advice I've heard. I'm trying to think. It's a lot of bad stuff I've heard, man.
This is a good thing. I mean,
There's a
I
lot of
love
that.
this question because it gets everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of bad thing that people say. So we want to hear it.
I would say sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. Because words do hurt. It set our people back.
Wow.
Oh, man. Please, can you say that again?
Thousands of years. Say that again.
Can you say that again?
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's the biggest lie ever told.
Ooh.
Oh,
Because a word, wherever a man speaketh, that's what he is.
That's right.
Yeah,
That was in that book, As a Man Thinketh.
yeah, sure.
James
So-
Allen.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's more than just on a physical plane. When we speak, it goes into the spiritual plane and it affects us in our life. So that's why you hear a person saying, "Man, I'm gonna be broke forever." What are they broke forever? Or even if you are poor or broke, and you say, "Oh, I'm gonna be a rich man,"
Yeah.
what ended up happening? You know what I'm saying? So the power of the tongue is the craziest thing. So yeah, that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. Biggest lie.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we get to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, for this time, I'll tell you, keep it for yourself. Why I'm saying keep it for yourself? Because, bro, you don't need to share this. You need to really listen to it over and over again. But if you feel like you have a friend, you have somebody who needs to read to this, please just tell them like you need to hear, to listen to this one. It's really fascinating. So for now, I'll see you to the next episode.
Yes, sir.
See you.